This video is brought to you by the Wonderful 101, exclusively on Wii U.
What's up, guys? This is Justin. I'm here with Scott.
Yes.
Scott, you are freshly back from Cupertino, where you got an opportunity to see the reveal and actually play around with the iPhone 5S.
That is correct.
So we're going to go through sort of all the big features, all the things you need to know about this phone. One of the things that I know you're most excited about is the new camera features, both on iOS 7 and on the hardware end. Why don't you tell me a little bit about, I'm just sort of a point-and-shoot camera guy, not a big photography guy. You know, why is this something that I need to be paying attention to?
Yeah, so I mean, iOS 7 yields a new UI for all iOS devices above a certain level. I don't know off the top of my head, but
iPhone 4.
Yeah, iPhone 4 and above. So obviously the UI is nicer.
Yep.
But for the iPhone 5S specifically, it has a new slow-mo mode and a new burst mode capture feature, which allows you to capture slow-mo video at 120 frames per second, which actually looks really good. Like, it actually looks really smooth.
You played around with it and it's really smooth and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. So like it you know, if you see like, you know, some of the more professional slow-mo videos, it actually looks pretty comparable. Obviously not the same as something like a, you know, Canon or something like that.
Sure.
But obviously the environment I was in, it wasn't exactly a high action sequence, a bunch of nerds hovering around phones. But you know, obviously just in that context, you know, seeing people walk by and stuff, it's like really, really smooth.
And so if you are someone that most people are just using their phone to take simple snapshots, they also changed the flash, right?
Yeah, so the new True Tone flash is a dual LED flash. It combines two different like kind of colors of flash, which allows it to intelligently detect the right environment so that like your faces don't look washed out or like colors don't look unnatural. So obviously, again, this is a bright room with a bunch of people, like, so it was really difficult to actually try that out, but in theory, it's supposed to be really good.
Awesome. One of the new things about the 5S that, you know, you and I were talking about off camera a little bit are the new colors. Yeah. So it comes in three. It comes in silver, space gray, which, let's call it gray.
Yeah.
But it also comes in gold. And you were saying that you don't know about that gold one, you saw it face to face?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good in person. It just,
it does look good.
It looks good. It's just like, for me, I think it's a little gaudy. Like it's.
Yeah, well, I mean, Apple likes to keep their colors sort of a little bit on the classier side. You know, the 5C seems like the sort of funner device, and this is a little bit more serious device. And so, you know, gold is how they come in, you know, trying to communicate that to people.
Yeah. But the other big thing, of course, is the fingerprint scanner. Like,
that's really the big. I mean, you're absolutely right. Yeah. I do want to point out that the 5S is the same basic shell. You know, the same screen size, same body as the 5, but. That fingerprint scanner that's baked into the home button is really the big hardware change this time around.
Yeah, so I got to play with it a bit. It's kind of interesting how it works. You have to tap it repeatedly so it learns your thumbprint. The other cool thing is it actually supports multiple users, so you can have multiple profiles and you can like revoke them.
They all have to set up their fingerprints individually.
Yeah, so if you're like if your friend you don't want to give your friend like your PIN number or whatever, like they just
got it.
If it's
or family or
significant
sons
other
or daughters
like that.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So did you find it easy, hard to set up? Is it a long process, fast process?
It's fairly long. It took me about a minute because you have to do it repeatedly, and then you even have to do the sides of your thumb. So it's very, very thorough. And the multiple profile stuff is really cool. But and again, it's not really a big security boost. It's really just a convenience thing.
So you think so? I mean, just so we're super clear, like right now to unlock my phone, I type in a PIN. You know, I swipe and type in a PIN. Now I can just put my thumb on that, you know, Touch ID, which is baked into that home button, and then it just unlocks my phone automatically. Right?
I mean, you can still use the PIN. So if you need to give someone your PIN and they're not they're not part of that profile system, like they can enter your phone if
you're wearing gloves or whatever the case may be.
Exactly.
But can you also do dual authentication? So if you're really paranoid or have really sensitive information on your phone, require both?
Not sure about that. I couldn't dive too much into the settings.
And so, I guess it's something that's under the hood. It's not something people will be able to see, but the new 5S also has the A7 processor.
Yeah, so I mean, that's really the core of how they've been able to do the 120 frames per second capture and, some of the stuff with the fingerprint scanning. Like, it's the world's first 64-bit mobile processor, which, obviously adds more power and more processing, kind of just prowess.
The stats that they said, and again, these are Apple benchmarks. We haven't benchmarked it ourselves, but they said it's about twice as powerful as the 5, and they said it's 40 times more powerful than the original iPhone, or 56, depending on whether you're talking about, speed or graphical
Yeah, 40
power.
times faster as far as CPU, and then 56 as far as the graphics.
And so again, like those aren't our tests, that's Apple's figures, but they're usually pretty accurate, and sometimes they're even on the conservative side. So there's sort of not any doubt in my mind that this one's going to be a beast for running things like Infinity Blade 3.
Of course, yeah. And in the environment that I was, in, it wasn't really good to a good opportunity to test out the benchmarks. I mean, it ran very well, but obviously the review will be for that.
So if someone is interested in the 5S, when are they going to be able to get their hands on it?
So we'll start shipping to people who order online or go to store on the 20th.
Got it. So we are going to have hands-on impression of the 5S and a full review, all kinds of coverage coming up on IGN. So for everything Apple, make sure you're keeping it locked to IGN.